Yes, Dave, and you kind of nailed it there where you said everybody's feeling it. Well, here's the thing. Everybody's vulnerable when it comes to heat, right? And it's especially true if you have an underlying illness. It can actually make those conditions worse. That's why heat is the #1 killer, and it's often known as the silent killer when it comes to weather-related fatalities. You can see over the 30-year average highlighted in the yellow bars here. Then we have the 10-year average highlighted in the blue, and the red would just be 2024 alone. This is data collected from all the National Weather Service offices across the states, all 50 states. And you can see that heat tops it out for the 30-year average, the 10-year average, and for 2024 when it comes to those weather-related deaths. And again, that's because everybody is vulnerable when it comes to the heat. And it's especially bad if you have any underlying illness. It can make that worse. And if you're some of the elderly or the younger population, they also are pretty vulnerable too. So that's why we tell you to take heat seriously, because it kills more people every year than any other weather event. All right, so the feels like temperatures, we're still in those triple digit feels like values. The only exception would be places that recently had the rain. Lando Lake's a good example of that, where we kind of broke that triple digit feels like temperature. Also Clearwater, just under that criteria. Again, 108 is when you start seeing those heat advisories issued by the National Weather Service. The ambient temperature, or the actual air temperature when you don't have humidity in play, is already at 92 for places like Newport Richey, where we were just talking about that cooling center. 90 degrees in Clearwater. And again, this is the time of day when we start to become a little bit cooler when you get closer to sunset, of course. But the problem is, one of the problems, we don't get temperatures to cool down past 80 degrees in the overnight mark. So that's why we also start off pretty high, right? The Gulf is also at 90. We have a wind coming in from the southwest. So again, by the shoreline, by the coast, that's probably where you're going to get the most relief, besides being the AC or the pool. As we look at our heat advisory, again, this is for tomorrow. We have heat index values that will be closer to 109, which is just at that threshold for that heat advisory to be issued by the National Weather Service. Some counties have been dropped from tomorrow's advisory. Manatee, Sarasota County, Highlands County, Hardee County, no longer included in that, and moving down into Southwest Florida. However, a large portion of our viewing area is still under that heat advisory for tomorrow, and that's why we issued another weather impact alert starting at noon and going until 7 o'clock. Again, typically the hottest hours of the day when the sun's highest in the sky, the humidity's pretty high. We have that heat advisory. Again, it only goes to about 109 tomorrow, but just enough for that advisory to be issued. And the next 12 hours, we still have our weather impact alert until 7 o'clock tonight. So we have about an hour left in that. Once the advisory is done for the day, that doesn't mean you're in the safe zone. It just means that it's no longer at that extreme level of heat. Still uncomfortable though, especially if you don't have air conditioning. So please take advantage of those cooling centers or any public available place that's offers AC, right? Or a cool place to take a break. All right, satellite radar here. We're seeing more storms brewing across our region. Polk County really getting the rain, most of the rain. You can see Lakeland, they have some lightning out that way. On our 7-day forecast, again, we're in a pretty typical pattern as far as the southwest winds. Showers start around the coast, move inland as we move into the evening hours, and we rinse and repeat tomorrow.
Rinse and repeat. Thank you, Colleen. And
high temperatures, they don't seem to be coming down much, unfortunately.
No, Dave, we have another heat advisory that's in effect for tomorrow, and that's why we did extend our weather impact alert. There's just nothing to break this heat bubble. Right now, that ridge of high pressure is still dominating the forecast, especially across the southeast. You can see that heat. However, we will day by day gain a little bit of relief here where we get some rain. We had a little bit of rain today. That kind of gives us temporary relief, breaking that trend of the hot temperatures, but it's just enough tomorrow, again, where we're meeting that criteria of that 108 feels like temperature for another heat advisory to be issued by the National Weather Service. And that's why we did extend that weather impact alert. So there are some counties that are excluded from this, still going to be hot and uncomfortable and still dangerous. It's just borderline. Where is that threshold for that advisory? So again, falling a degree or two short of that criteria needed, that 108 degree temperature. For places like Manatee, Sarasota County, again, we have a southwest wind that's kind of helping us out just a little bit. So you don't see those counties highlighted in the orange, but pretty much the rest of our viewing area under that advisory. So be aware the heat will push on for another day and probably another 2 days. As we look ahead, again, here's our weather impact alert, breaking down the timing for you guys. It's for tomorrow from noon to 7 p.m., basically the hottest hours of the day. It's not until about this time where we start to cool down, kind of degree by degree, right? We're just waiting for the sun to go down, but then it still remains muggy in the overnight temperatures. And when we don't get below 80, that's a big problem too. The heat index for tomorrow closer to 109. Earlier in the week, we had heat index values around 112, even higher in some spots. So again, small little gains here, but the same rules apply. You need to stay cool and hydrate. Find any place that you can publicly that offers air conditioning. If yours doesn't work the best, or if you're somebody without AC, please take it seriously. Heat is the #1 killer, known as a silent killer when it comes to weather-related fatalities. It kills more than any other weather-related event, including flooding. All right, temperatures right now at 646. We have some lower 90s and some upper 80s closer to the coast. Again, a southwest wind helping us out despite the Gulf waters being at 90 degrees right now. That is bath water. As we look inland, we do have some locations like Dade City, some rain nearby earlier today. Lakeland, the temperature has not budged still, but we do have some rain close to Lakeland in northern Polk County at this time. You can see that loop on satellite and radar. Some of these storms are training storms, meaning that they keep going over the same location again and again. So just be aware that you may see some ponding on the roadways, especially around Lakeland, closer to I-4. Be careful if you have any plans driving along I-4, especially if you're heading off to the east there. That's the direction that these storms do want to go. A little bit of lightning being produced out there as well. And most of these are moving to the northeast as we finish off the day, finish off the evening. Here's your high-res model showing the direction of these storms. Again, most of these will pull off towards the north and northeast. We will have a little bit of rain down in Highlands County as well, just ahead of midnight. But again, most of this rain will start to taper off, and then for the remainder of the night, we'll be sitting pretty dry. Now, with that southwest wind, we usually do see showers start off around the coast and push towards our interior locations. That's what we had today, and that's likely what we will have for tomorrow. 7-day forecast again, weather impact alert in effect for tomorrow afternoon. We'll see if we get another one for the first day of August.
Colleen, thank you.